Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're taking a look at some of the Chinese stocks listed in the US. Before I begin, remember to take a second to give the video a like and subscribe as you greatly help our channel. Without further ado, let's start off with Alibaba. So Alibaba seems to have created a new high after it break out above its 120 resistance level and sort of found some greater resistance at these double top levels. And we've seen some sellers appearing on Thursday and Friday itself. So if we manage to break above this 124.7 once again, then we'll need to be heading towards 130 and even the 138.7, the previous recent high. That said, two support to watch, and it's a very critical support to watch, will be 118 and 108. 115 and 107 is also a critical support based on the Fibonacci's support levels as well. Let's move on to Tencent. So Tencent seems to be extremely weak. In fact, you can see from a recent low of 41.19 to a recent high 51.58. We are already at this 23.6% at 43.64 levels on this Tuesday and Wednesday. So in other words, this is very bearish. It's likely for us to be heading towards 41.19 levels to retest the $40 psychological support level where there are more buyers. Two resistance to clear will be 45.78 and also 47.30. These two will be the strong resistance for Tencent. That said, you also can see that we are also starting to drift down and break down below this cloud level of support. So that is not really a good sign for Tencent. Let's move on to NetEase. So NetEase, after its announcement of bad results, or bad news rather, you can see that it already started breaking down this 23.6% at $90. So it's likely for us to be heading towards 84.20 in the next upcoming sessions. And the key resistance to clear will be 92 and even $97, which is a strong resistance at this rate baseline. Let's move on to NIO. So for NIO, there's nothing much this week. In fact, it is very much like consolidating sideways for now. This blue conversion line is currently at 22.35. So this is acting as the first support, and the second support, it's at $20, which is just above the $20 psychological support level, where you see buyers starting to step in. So if 1956 were to break down, then things will start to turn ugly for NIO. If we manage to break out once again above this 24.14, 24.15, then it's likely for us to be heading towards $27 at around 78.6%. Let's move on to JD.com. So JD.com seems to be consolidating sideways as well, but it can't seem to hold above this blue conversion line at around 64.53. So we've seen some greater support coming in at this rate baseline, and it's currently at around 61.47. So if we start breaking down the $60 psychological support, then we're looking towards 57 and 55 as potential supports for JD. If we manage to punch up above 68.29, then we're likely to be looking towards 73.88 as the next resistance. Let's move on to Baidu. So Baidu, similar situation is consolidating sideways along this blue conversion line at $150 psychological support level. So if you pull back down, then this rate baseline at 143 acts as a critical support after 145 were to break down. However, 135 is the next 61.8% support for Baidu. If we manage to punch up above 156, then we're likely to be looking towards 171.87. Now we have PDD or Pinduoduo, so there's not much changes. In fact, you can see that it's still holding above this $60 psychological support level. So if we can punch up above 68.71, we're likely to be looking towards $80 psychological support or resistance rather. That's it. 54.31 should not break down. If 54.31 start to break down, then things will not be too good for PDD. For KWEB, you can see that it's consolidating sideways. Not much of movement. 32.08 is still holding well, so 30.30 must hold as well. If 30.30 will start breaking down, then things may start to turn ugly. Resistance to clear will be 34.36, and next resistance will be 35.65. Next up, we have CWEB. So CWEB also finding some great support at this rate baseline at 68.43. So if we can punch up above 72.25, then $80 will likely to be retested. If not, 65.44 and $60 psychological support, where there's more cloud support here for this CWEB. If we can punch up above $80, then 81.87, 61.8% is a key resistance for CWEB to clear. Lastly, we have FXI. So FXI is finding some great support along its blue conversion line. You can see that it's being well supported here at around $33. If we pull back down, then 32.16 and 31.33 will act as the next two supports for FXI. Overall, everything in the Chinese stocks looks good and it seems to be consolidating sideways. So we shall see if next week we can start creating higher highs or even higher lows as well. So if there's any changes, I'll give you guys an update. Thanks for stopping by. Till we meet again, appreciate the manipulation.